Hello, everybody. This is Coach Shafto. Today we're working on IXL 6th grade AA.2, and we're learning how to graph inequalities on number lines. I'm going to do a quick review, which we did in the last video. That's going to help us to understand what to do in this assignment. During this assignment, you need to get to 70, and if you want a challenge, you can go all the way to 100. In the quick review, I just want to remind everybody that a closed circle indicates that we include the number. For example, in this graph, it says x equals 2. So we just put a dot at 2. We've been doing that for a long time. You probably learned how to do that in about first grade. With inequalities, if we have x is less than 2, then we're going to use what's called an open circle, because 2 actually does not count as part of the graph because it's less than 2. If we have x is less than or equal to 2, because we have this equal sign bar underneath the inequality bar, that means that it's also equal to. So in the same way that where we had x equals to 2, we have the closed circle, we do the same thing with the less than or equal to, because it tells us that we have x equals 2. So we shade our circle in. It asks us to graph, and we're going to take x is greater than 4. To begin, we can draw our ray and then plot an endpoint to select an arrow. Select an endpoint to change it from closed to open. Select middle of the ray to delete it. So what's that asking? In this case, I have x is greater than 4. So right now, I'm going to tap to show that x is greater than 4. Then, if I want it to be an open circle, I tap it again. So now it's an open circle. Tap it once to be a closed circle. Tap it twice to be an open circle. Since I don't have an equal sign here, I'm going to leave it open. Then I'm going to draw my arrow. And so here, this would just be from 4 to 8, but I want it to be an arrow, so I need to go all the way to the arrow. And x is more than 4, so I'm going to do it at more than 4. This would be my answer, but one last thing you need to know. If I don't like this answer, I just tap it and the whole thing goes away. Here, I have x is less than 10. So I don't have an equal sign bar, so I'm going to put an open circle at 10. And then it's less than 10. So I'm going to point to all of the things that are less than 10, like 0 and 2 and 3. Here I have x is less than 8. I don't have an equal sign bar, so I'm going to put an open circle. Then I'm going to draw my arrow to all of the things that are less than 8. Here I have x is less than 9. So I'm going to draw an open circle at 9, and my arrow will go to all the things that are less than 9. Here, it's a little bit challenging because I have negative numbers, but I have x is greater than or equal to negative 90. So I'm going to put a closed circle at negative 90 because I have my equal sign bar. But then if it's greater than negative 90, all the numbers that are greater than negative 90 are actually to the right. Because remember, negative numbers are like debt. And would you rather have less debt or more debt? Personally, I would rather have less debt. So we're going to go to the right. And the last problem, it says x is less than or equal to negative 40. So I'm going to put it at negative 40. And since we're less than, we're going to go in the direction of numbers that are less. And so that's bigger negative numbers. Because again, remember, would you rather have more debt or would you rather have less debt? And so less debt is actually going to be greater than, but more debt to the left will be less than. Remember that you need to get to 70 for this assignment, but if you want a challenge, you can go all the way to 100.